Okay, let's go through the answers. So the law of conservation of mass states that mass cannot be created or destroyed during a chemical reaction. So question 1, compare the masses of the reactants and products by filling in the blanks. 5 grams of sodium reacts with 2.5 grams of chloride, that should say chlorine, to give sodium chloride. And so law of conservation of mass means that the mass of the reactants must equal the mass of the products. Hydrogen and chlorine reacting together, 1.2 grams plus 3.8 grams is going to be 5.0 grams. Here we've got our calcium carbonate reaction, the thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. The products are here. The total mass of the products is 50 grams, and so we must have started with 50 grams of reactants. Thermal decomposition of sodium oxide, 4 grams plus 2 grams equals 6 grams. A pupil heated 1.24 grams of copper carbonate strongly. The chemical reaction which took place is represented by this equation. After the solid, which remained, had cooled, he weighed it and he found the mass was 0.8 grams. Why did the pupil find a decrease in mass? It was because one of the products was a gas and this is therefore lost into the air, and so the mass is not captured when we weigh the final product. And what we're weighing is just the copper oxide. He then heated that solid again, this black solid, and when he weighed it after cooling, its mass was still 0.8 grams. And this time it hadn't changed because all of the copper carbonate had decomposed, and so there was no more carbon dioxide to give off, and so the final product was there. Okay, so explain why it had not changed in mass. So all of the copper carbonate had decomposed. There was no more carbon dioxide to be released. In another experiment, he burnt magnesium ribbon in air. He found the mass the powder formed was greater than the original mass of the ribbon. Can you explain this? So when we burn something in air, what we're actually doing is we're reacting it with oxygen. And so in this case, the magnesium has reacted with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. And so the oxygen has been bound together with the magnesium, and so when we weighed the magnesium to begin with, there was no oxygen there, and then when it reacted with the oxygen has become bound to the magnesium, and it's now captured in the product, and therefore the product will increase in mass. This doesn't mean that the law of conservation of mass has failed, it just means we didn't weigh the oxygen at the beginning. Write a word equation for the reaction which takes place. So that's magnesium plus oxygen goes to magnesium oxide. And when we weighed our magnesium, and then we weighed it again, it went up in mass, and that's because we hadn't weighed the oxygen to begin with.